Welcome to Wrench Warriors DIY. On today's show, I'm going to show you how to put in a dishwasher. So after you get your dishwasher unboxed, it's going to come with some stuff inside. You want to make sure you get this bag right here. You're going to need these brackets to help support it. And these ones will actually go on the hose or the drain. Okay? There's your drain hose. All this comes inside your dishwasher. The first thing you need to do is look at the type of cabinet you have, or the type of countertops you have. This one here is like quartz or something like that, so I can't drill into this. All right, now if you have like something that has wood underneath, you might be able to screw up into the bottom of that to anchor your dishwasher and support it. But this one, I can't drill into. So if you'll show them, Cole, right here, this bracket right here that's got a bunch of holes in it, you can buy these. I'll put a link in the video so you can buy one of those. And then you screw those into here, into your cabinets, and then that gives you something to screw the dishwasher into. You just gotta be careful when you're putting in these screws into the cabinets. I always like to use like a little drill bit and just put a little pilot hole in there to give the screw some place to go so it doesn't split that wood. Okay. As you can see, the electrician already hooked up the wire for us. And they have a second hole here for water that's down low. And then we drilled a hole up higher, up here, right at the very top. And your drain hose, this drain hose here, once you hook it up to the dishwasher and you slide it back in, you want that drain hose going high. If you run it through the bottom there, then you're going to have to put a zip tie underneath the cabinet here and zip tie this drain line up, because this drain line has to be higher than like your garbage disposal or something like that. Otherwise, when you drain your sink, if this line is lower, it'll just run down and go in your dishwasher. So I always like to drill it high. That way I know that when I drain the sink, it's not going to feed back into my dishwasher. I always like to put down a towel or a piece of cardboard or something to protect the dishwasher so it doesn't get scratched up. Luckily, the homeowner gave us a couple. Plus, it protects your floor when you're laying it down. All right, the first thing you need to do is measure. You gotta take a measurement right here and see how much room or how tall your dishwasher can be. So that bracket's at 34 1/4. So I probably want to be right at 34. So I have a little bit of play to slide it back in. So where you're going to take your measurement, let me move this for you, is right on the top of the door right here. And you're going to measure right down to that leg. Okay. Now if this is off, you got to adjust these a little bit. Okay. And you can adjust this leg and you'll adjust all of them, but these ones seem to be good. All right, when you're getting your dishwasher, you need to buy a water hose like this. I like the braided ones. It comes with two different connections here. These are the old style that they used to use. I really like that kind. These are the new ones they came up with. It has a hose connection. And those ones aren't my favorite, but you got to deal with it because that's what you have now. You can just get rid of this one. Go ahead and tighten this one on. I like to get it tightened on out here so I'm not cranking on anything underneath the dishwasher. Make sure that's nice and snug. Then you just want to take and work out where it's been rolled up, because I want to stay rolled up. So just bend it to where it's gonna be easy to feed in underneath that cabinet. We're going to tighten onto that hose connection. I like to hold it with my hand so it doesn't want to spin the fitting. I like to have this one pretty snug because it's just a hose washer in there. So I snug it up pretty good. Kind of make sure that fitting's just aiming towards the back or a little bit that way, so it's easy to take that water in. Now you're going to jump in this bag here, take out the smaller of the two. You're going to use your pliers, crimp that thing open, and then slide it up over this fitting here. All right. Then you're going to work this in. Smash that back down. And there's a couple lines right there that you put it in between, and it'll snug down on that pipe. All right, after you stand up your dishwasher, you want to make sure that your power line, your water line, and your drain line are all coming back and aren't tucked under the legs or anything like that. Take the water in, and then I like to take this drain line and go high with it. Just start those in. So when you want to make sure you throw this insulation back on. That helps keep it quiet when it's running, so you're not hearing it all night or while you're watching your movies or anything. Just open up the kitchen cabinet here and reach back up in here, grab these lines and help pull them through. The next thing you need to do is get your anchor brackets, and you see these little grooves right here. You're just going to slide that bracket down inside there. Then you see that little tooth right there. I just take and push that down so it locks that bracket on. Same thing over here. You can tell there's a right way and a wrong way with this thing angled. It's got to go down like that. Bend that down so it can't come out. So you might want to push your dishwasher in and check and make sure where that bracket underneath is going to sit on these. Actually, I'm going to do that to make sure that I don't cut them too short. You got to cut these off, but you don't want to cut them too short. So I'm actually going to push this in and eyeball it and make sure that we're right. So just kind of hold that insulation in place. Make sure it gets tucked back in. Just take your time. If the insulation wants to poke out at the end, come around here, Cole. Just take your screwdriver and tuck it back in a little bit like this. Sometimes it wants a bunch up. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You're gonna try and get your dishwasher centered, or excuse me, straight. Come around here, Cole. Look right down here. So you can see that that's not straight. This side's definitely out more than that side. You don't want that because it just looks bad. So just finagle this around a little bit. That looks a lot better. Look up underneath here, Cole. As you can see, I got to cut that off, but I don't want to cut it too short. So I'm going to try and use this hole, this back hole, so I can cut it off anywhere past that. So now you got to pull the dishwasher out just a little bit. Remember, I'm using that back hole there. That bracket that I showed you earlier will come with some really, really short screws like this. Those are the ones you got to use. So now we got to go ahead and get it straight again. Just like that, it's anchored in. Now before you hook it up, just make sure that it's not hitting the cabinet or anything like that. Make sure the door closes good. Double check, make sure it's straight. Okay, so now you need to take your water line and you need to connect it. We have a little stop right there on the hot side that we'll connect it to. And as far as your drain goes, we're going to take this drain and we're going to put it right here into this little port on the side of the disposal. Now, if you're putting in a new disposal or a new dishwasher, you just got to make sure that thing, there's a plug that's in there. And I've already knocked it out, but you need to stick your finger in or something and make sure that plug's out. Otherwise, when you run your dishwasher, if that plug's not out, it's not going to drain. Same thing on this one. Take this bigger clamp. Put it down over the top of that. Slide that up on. Now your drain's set. So now we have our drain hooked up. Our water hooked up back there. And as soon as the electrician gets done with his electrical cord, he'll go ahead and plug that in. They'll be ready to roll. Now, if you don't have an electrician, you can always buy a pigtail at the store for a dishwasher. I get one that's 5 or 6 feet long. You can hook it up when you have it laid down on its face, and then you can come back and plug it in yourself right there. So, but these guys have an electrician, so we'll let him do it, not worry about it. Well, guys, there you have it. That's how you install a dishwasher. Now, if you're changing yours out, basically all you got to do is undo the water, undo that drain that we showed you, unplug it, and then it'll come right out. Well, I guess you got to take a couple screws out of the brackets, but it'll come out. Then you can replace it just like we showed you. So thanks for watching Wrench Warriors DIY.